Incorporating just a little bit of garlic into your daily diet can lead to remarkable changes in your body. This isn't just folk wisdom. Scientific research now explains how garlic impacts our health and why it should be a staple in our everyday meals. Garlic is spicy and distinctive, and for many years it has sparked debates around family dinner tables. Some people cringe at its smell, while others can't imagine a dish without it. Yet, there's much more beneath the surface. Garlic is not just a flavorful addition, it's a genuine natural pharmacy, powerful yet subtle, capable of enhancing your well-being within just a few days if you welcome it into your diet with care and attention. Today, we will explore the secret substance found in garlic and what happens to your body when you start eating garlic every day, especially after the age of 60. Sandra had been living in a state that was hard to describe in words. Constant fatigue, a heavy head from the moment she woke up, blood pressure that fluctuated without warning, and her energy dwindling by lunchtime. Each day began not with vigor, but with tension, while foggy thoughts and headaches had become almost the norm. Her medicine cabinet was stocked with a whole collection of pills, for blood pressure, for pain, for sleep, but none of them provided relief. However, a turning point came during a casual conversation with her neighbor, a doctor, who shared a simple, almost forgotten piece of advice: to eat just one small clove of fresh garlic every day. At first, Sandra was skeptical. She thought, what can one tiny clove of garlic possibly do? But to her surprise, by the second week, she started to notice changes. Falling asleep became easier. She woke up with a clear mind, and her blood pressure no longer fluctuated like before. Today, Sandra's mornings begin with a warm toast, topped with a bit of garlic and fresh herbs. And she smiles as she says that this simple habit has brought her back a sense of life, lightness, and confidence in her body. Have you noticed that after the age of 60, especially as you approach 70, even the most routine processes in the body, like circulation, digestion, or immune function, start to slow down a bit, as if there are pauses? At this age, we increasingly encounter issues like inflammation, fluctuating blood pressure, headaches, and a constant sense of fatigue that seems to come out of nowhere. Curious to know why? Often, this is not so much about aging itself, but rather how our cells are nourished, how our blood vessels function, and whether they are receiving everything necessary to maintain internal harmony. Garlic is an incredible gift from nature, capable of gently affecting the entire body. Its power lies in a single active compound that is released when we cut or crush a clove. This component, which I will discuss shortly, initiates a cascade of beneficial processes. It helps reduce inflammation, dilates blood vessels, and improves circulation, fights harmful bacteria, and helps maintain stable blood sugar levels. It is often referred to as a natural antibiotic, but unlike pharmaceutical options, it doesn't disrupt gut flora or put strain on the liver, acting in a gentle and harmonious way. Very often, we forget about the power of natural remedies and habitually reach for a pill. Yet even seemingly minor changes, like a loss of vascular elasticity or an increase in blood sugar, can subtly lead to fatigue, dizziness, lack of focus, and sleep issues. As we age, every little action becomes increasingly important. The specific product we choose for our morning toast, how we support our immune system during the cold months, and how we help our hearts stay strong. Here's the good news. There is a way to provide gentle, accessible support, and now I'll explain why it works so effectively. Now for some good news. Garlic is not an exotic ingredient or a trendy supplement. It's an accessible, time-tested, and truly powerful ally for our bodies. After just 7 to 10 days of regular consumption, many people notice a reduction in feelings of heaviness, improved sleep quality, stabilized blood pressure, and a remarkable clarity of mind. However, there's no need to rush. There are some nuances to consider. Excessive or improper use can be harmful. In this video, you will learn how to consume garlic correctly, in what quantities, and what common mistakes even long-time garlic lovers tend to make. Please rate this video from 1 to 10, and be sure to share it with those you care about. They will thank you for it. So, let's start with the most important point. High blood pressure, ringing in the ears, a heavy feeling in the head, and cold hands and feet. These sensations are familiar to millions of older adults. Often they're seen as just a normal part of aging. But in reality, it all begins with the blood vessels. When they lose their natural flexibility and elasticity, blood can no longer circulate freely. Blood pressure rises, the heart has to work harder, and cells begin to suffer from a lack of nutrients and oxygen. This is where garlic reveals its true power. Not just as a seasoning, but as one of the most potent natural remedies for supporting vascular health. So, what exactly is its strength? Let's find out. Garlic contains an active compound called allicin, which starts to work as soon as you cut or crush a clove. It dilates blood vessels, improves blood flow, helps lower bad cholesterol levels, and makes the blood vessel walls more elastic. And do you know what it's particularly beneficial for? It helps prevent the formation of blood clots, which is one of the main causes of strokes. Numerous studies confirm that regularly consuming garlic can gently yet steadily lower blood pressure. This is especially important for people taking antihypertensive medications. Garlic can enhance their effects, potentially allowing for a reduced dosage over time, but make sure to do this under a doctor's supervision. Here's a small but wonderful story. Luis, 74 years old, had been suffering from hypertension for 12 years. Every morning started with a pill and a prayer to avoid dizziness. On the advice of a friend, he began adding 1 clove of fresh garlic to his lunch every day, finely chopping it and mixing it with olive oil and lemon. At first, he didn't expect much. But after 2 weeks, he noticed fewer spikes in his blood pressure. The heaviness in his head had disappeared, and by the evening, he felt more energetic. A month later, he visited his doctor, who was surprised by the stability of his readings. While he hasn't stopped taking medication yet, his dosage has been reduced. Luis says, "I feel like it's not the medication keeping me healthy anymore, but my own body. How should it be used?" If you want to support your blood vessels, start small. Just 1 clove of fresh garlic a day. It's best to chop it up and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes before consuming, as this activates allicin. You can add it to warm olive oil, spread it on toast, mix it into salads, cooked vegetables, or even yogurt. However, it's important to remember that boiled or fried garlic loses much of its beneficial properties, so fresh garlic is preferred. If you're taking blood thinners or medications for blood pressure, be sure to consult your doctor. Garlic can enhance their effects, and sometimes your dosage may need to be adjusted. You know what else deserves attention? As we age, colds don't pass as easily as they used to. What seems like a simple chill can quickly lead to a runny nose, fatigue, and a cough, with recovery taking weeks. For many people over 60, the immune system becomes more vulnerable, making it harder for the body to cope with seasonal viruses. But there's one surprisingly simple habit that can create an invisible shield around the body. Garlic. It's not just a preventive measure, it also provides support during illness. Garlic helps the immune system recognize and neutralize viruses and bacteria more quickly, eases inflammation, and makes recovery smoother and shorter. Immunity isn't just about not getting sick. So what is it? It's the body's ability to recognize threats in a timely manner, swiftly mobilize protective cells, and eliminate inflammation before illness develops. Garlic activates the immune system thanks to its unique combination of allicin, sulfur-containing compounds, B vitamins, and selenium. It boosts the activity of macrophages, cells that consume viruses and bacteria, and enhances the production of natural antibodies. In addition, garlic helps combat chronic inflammation and hidden processes that undermine the body and weaken its defenses. The constant mild effect of garlic keeps the immune system in shape without overloading it. Here's what happened to a woman after she started incorporating garlic into her diet. Ruth, 76, used to spend every winter with a handkerchief in her hands, battling endless colds, coughs, and flare-ups of bronchitis. She was exhausted from constant courses of antibiotics. Then her granddaughter suggested trying an old family remedy, a garlic infusion with honey and lemon, just a teaspoon every morning. Ruth started cautiously, but within the first month she noticed no setbacks, no courses of antibiotics. In the spring, she said, "For the first time in many years, I made it through the winter without a hospital stay." Now she adds garlic not only to her morning drink, but also to warm soups, stews, and even baked apples. And she has no intention of giving up garlic anytime soon. How should garlic be consumed correctly? To support the immune system, it's best to use garlic regularly, but in small doses of about 1 to 2 cloves per day. The simplest way to prepare it is to make a paste. Crush the garlic, mix it with honey and lemon juice, let it sit for 20 minutes, and store it in a glass jar. Take a teaspoon of this mixture each morning on an empty stomach. Garlic pairs wonderfully with warm soups, vegetables, herbal teas, and hot water. It's important to note, don't chase down garlic with coffee or milk, as this diminishes its effects. On the other hand, ginger, turmeric, rose hips, and black pepper enhance its properties. Remember, the effects accumulate over time. Don't expect miracles overnight, but after about 2 to 3 weeks, many people notice that their winter symptoms fade or become milder and resolve more quickly. What about digestion? As we age, this process can become more sensitive and temperamental. Complaints of heaviness after meals, bloating, constipation, or even unexpected reactions to the simplest dishes become more frequent. Sometimes appetite can even vanish, and the joy and ease of eating are lost. But here too, we have a helper. Good old garlic. It can be just the natural stimulant that gently supports digestion, improves enzyme production, relieves spasms, and doesn't overload the stomach, unlike many over-the-counter remedies. Sounds incredible? But it's a well-tested and warm truth of nature. Garlic stimulates the production of gastric juice, bile, and enzymes, effectively kickstarting the entire digestion process. It aids in moving food through the intestines, reduces bloating, combats harmful bacteria, and even supports gut flora. This is especially important for people over 70, as aging often leads to decreased stomach acidity, bile flow issues, or a tendency towards constipation. Additionally, garlic has a mild antispasmodic effect. It helps the intestines relax and function rhythmically, rather than in a spastic manner, which can occur during stress or motility disorders. Helen, 78 years old, had long suffered from constipation. Every trip out of town, any change in her diet would bring back the heaviness, bloating, and weakness. Her medicine cabinet was always stocked with laxatives, but they were becoming less effective. Then, on her doctor's advice, she started each day with warm water and a small piece of garlic on an empty stomach. At first, the taste was sharp, but within a week, she noticed a significant improvement. Her bowel movements became regular, the bloating in her stomach disappeared, and most importantly, she developed an appetite. Now she says, "I feel like everything inside is working properly again." Important to remember. If you're experiencing digestive issues, try introducing garlic gradually and correctly. The best time to consume it is in the morning on an empty stomach or 20-30 minutes before a meal. One small clove, chopped and steeped in warm water or with a bit of honey and lemon, kickstarts the digestive process, enhances appetite, and prepares your body for food intake. You can also add garlic to sautéed vegetables, soups, and grains, but make sure not to overheat it to preserve its beneficial properties. Avoid eating garlic at night or in large quantities if you have gastritis or a sensitive stomach. It's important to listen to your body. For a gentler effect, you can combine garlic with fennel, chamomile, mint, or caraway as they complement its action, soothe the mucous membranes, and support gut flora. We've just explored the remarkable benefits of a single product, garlic. We've seen how it affects blood pressure and vascular health, boosts the immune system, aids digestion, reduces inflammation, and even enhances mood. But the key takeaway is that maintaining health in later life doesn't require expensive or inaccessible solutions. It starts with everyday choices. From your plate, from breakfast, with small but consistent habits. And if one of those habits includes garlic, your body will respond like a grateful friend, offering clarity of mind, lightness in your body, restful sleep, and reliable functioning of all your internal systems. Incorporating garlic into your life isn't about dieting or restrictions. It's about care. Care for yourself, your body, and the future that lies ahead. You don't have to start by eating an entire bulb or battling the burn. Begin with small steps, half a clove on an empty stomach, in a salad, in a dressing, or in a vegetable dish. Within 7 to 10 days, you may notice a reduction in lethargy, improved digestion, easier mornings, and more stable blood pressure. These signals aren't magic. It's your body thanking you for finally providing it with something that works in harmony with it, not against it. What if I can't? This question is becoming more common, and it's a valid concern. Garlic is indeed a powerful natural product, and it's important to approach it with caution. If you have gastritis, ulcers, or heightened sensitivity in your mucous membranes, start with milder forms, such as boiled or roasted garlic, which are gentler. If you're taking blood thinners or medications for blood pressure, be sure to discuss adding garlic with your doctor. But in most cases, it's not only allowed, it simply demands respect. Its strength lies in moderation, not in large doses, but in consistency, attentiveness to your body, and trust in the process. Don't aim for instant results. Instead, focus on gentle, caring habits, day by day. So take the first step. Starting tomorrow, grab a clove of garlic, peel it, let it sit for 10 minutes, chop it up, add it to your favorite dish, or enjoy it on toast with olive oil. Pay attention to how you feel. Start with 3 days, then a week, and then make it a part of your routine. And if it helps you, share the knowledge with others. Share this video with your family, friends, and neighbors. Simple tips like these can kickstart significant changes, not just for one person, but for an entire family. Now imagine this. You wake up in the morning feeling light. No headaches, no heaviness. You walk to the window, prepare yourself a toast with garlic, herbs, and olive oil. The sun is still soft, the tea is warm, and your hands are steady. You're not in a hurry. You feel your body is reliable, stable, and calm. Your body works like a well-coordinated orchestra. And it's not because you've completely changed your life, but because you've chosen to care. With love. With patience. With the understanding that health is not a goal, but a journey. And on this journey you have a small ally, a common clove of garlic.